So, but now we're gonna go ahead and move into our next game that defined us. Patrick Cloud with the cloudy bandana. You are up, good sir.
I'm not even gonna lie. Hands down, the best game on this panel. This is one of Khleo favorite games. I feel like this might have been the first game Khleo ever played that got him into gaming. I'm gonna take you guys back to 1997, one of the darkest games I have ever played in my life, Abe's Odyssey. Now, this game was interesting because it didn't hit with a lot of people because of the play style, but it was really one of those story-driven games, kind of like Tomb Raider, where the gameplay wasn't great, but the story kind of made you want to keep going. This was the story of Abe. He was a Mudokon. I don't know how to say it, but he was a slave. Him and all these people, of his people, were working at a factory called Rupture Farms. They were making all these snacks and stuff out of aliens. And then I guess productions were low. There's a new snack coming out, and he sneaks into the CEO's office, finds out that they're killing his people and making the snacks out of them. It's like I forget what movie, the Soylent Green. I think it was called Soylent Green. It's very heavy Soylent Green references. Soylent Green is people. This was snacks being made out of this slave race. And the Abe character was dope. He had this like cool voice. He was always just like talking to people like, "Hello, follow me." It was he had the sewn together mouths just to prevent their outcries. It was a very sad game. But ultimately, you were just trying to free all of your people out of Rupture Farms. You find out that you're the chosen one. He just killed one of them, which gives you bad karma. But there's a certain amount of slaves in each level. And just the story was dope. It's a very difficult game. As you can see, there's sneaking, there's backtracking into other rooms. You have to do like these levers and puzzles to figure out how to kill these things. At some point, you learn how to enchant and like take over their bodies and do random stuff with them. But it was really just like, it was very dark, so it was scary, especially as a kid. You see that the style of animation, there's blood everywhere and like barrels. It's just like, it was not a very kid-friendly game, but I like the story. I like the character. I like the villains. I just like the creepiness of it. It was really like horror without admitting it was horror. And they ended up having a third game on Xbox called Munch's Odyssey, which kind of expanded it into 3D roaming around. There was a new character, a fish-like character named Munch, that you could be, and it's really all about liberation, which kind of makes it a dope story. In every game installment, you're pretty much the Harriet Tubman of this race, going into different places. You find out that your races are all over, and then the fish-like character wants to do this. I think his whole race is being sold as caviar, the fish eggs. So every single game is literally about overthrowing these gluckin CEOs that are making a profit off of killing an entire race of people. So it was you got to be a little activist for an alien race, and I loved it. I thought it was great.
I'm here for you. I'm here for you because everyone else won't be here for you. I'm here for you.
Yeah,
and I like this game, and they've released it on the PS3. It looks amazing. They remastered this game. It looks even better than what it is, and it also has the how every time they're switching the camera, how it goes to that new screen. Obviously, the new one, it doesn't do that anymore. It's
right.
flush,
it's continuous.
It's fluid. It's amazing. The newer one, yeah.
Look, before I know Khleo is geared up, ready to go. So before we let Khleo do his onslaught onto this game, I just got to say that thank God for the remake, because this play is trash.
It was PlayStation. I mean, it plays like Resident Evil.
But it is definitely like the prime example of thank God for remakes. Because as you said, the story itself, very great. Mm-hmm. This though, if you was to like, okay, cool, now show me the gameplay, be like, come on.
It's tough. It's tough. If you were to go back and play this game like this, it's a rough sell. It was one of those you had to be there type of things. But it established Abe as, I think, a very underused character in the PlayStation roster. I think it might have just be because the gameplay was so strange. But you know, after all the RPGs that I played weird, and I was seeing those guys everywhere, I never really knew why PlayStation didn't put Abe on the front of stuff so much. Maybe because he has the story of the black man. But
So,
all my life I had to
can't
fight.
speak.
I always used to see this game and see like how popular it was, but I've never met anyone who played it. So this is an honor for sure.
If you like horror or just like the aesthetic of creepiness, everything from the music to trying not to wake these guys up to how they eventually killed you, to just sort of wanting these slave people. Like every time you see them, they're getting their ass beat, they wash and shit. You know what I mean? It's just like horrible stuff. They're being used to test bombs or landmines. You really like kind of become attached and you want to save them. So like Will said, thank God for remasters. If you really wanted to get into Abe, you would probably have to play the remaster or Munch's Odyssey, the one on Xbox, because that's just more newer. It's kind of like the Breath of the Wild of the series. Not saying it's anywhere near as good, but it's just the most it's the easiest to get into, and then you would probably go backwards as a fan of Abe. But yeah, definitely a tough tell if you just.
I definitely feel you, because I feel like as far as it being horror and the story being, I don't know, kind of like scary, I guess. Because when you did the accent, I don't know if it's because of this thing you have, this cloth you have in your head, but it definitely triggered my fight or fight response, like for sure.
His voice was very creepy. He was just walking around like, "What's up, guys? Hello." And they were just like, "Okay."
All right, Khleo. All right, Khleo. I know you've been quiet over there. You've done the whole evil chair turning thing. Let's hear your opinion on this, my guy.
I've said it once, I've said it twice, I will say it every single time this game is brought to the arcade tokens. I, with all my heart, every inch of my soul, I hate this game. I always have and I always will. I spent hours trying to figure this game out.
Really?
You talk about sneaking. You talk about supposed to be espionage. Let me tell you what real sneaking and espionage really was. That was Metal Gear Solid. Okay, that's how you.
Time out. Hold on. Time out. To be fair, a grown ass man puts a box over him, and that's just supposed to.
I don't care what Hideo Kojima's whole situation was regarding that box. I don't care. We're watching a playthrough right now of a guy. Legit, he hasn't got past this level.
No, you're
this
right.
whole time we've been watching it, he hasn't got past this.
No, he's playing terrible, man. I'm sorry, I chose another gameplay. This man is playing god awful.
No,
so if this is just the average gamer right here, this is every most average gamer's experience with this goddamn game right here.
To be fair, this gameplay was so different that I don't really know. You know, obviously this was PlayStation 1. I wasn't gaming a lot before this. But I don't really know a lot of platformers that played this way. You know what I mean? There was a lot of them that sort of looked this way with like multiple levels and all that stuff. But just between the sneaking and the horror element and the like saving people and backtracking, like a lot of platformers didn't have like backtracking to do other stuff, you know? So this was just so different. And it was scary that I feel like a lot of people had trouble with this part because they were trying to get used to what this game was.
Right.
So I don't know why he put this on YouTube. He probably shouldn't have. It looked like a first time playthrough trying to figure things out.
Yeah.
But a lot of people did find this part a little bit weird because that's when you had to figure out not only sneaking, but talking and commands and how to make them follow you and what these levers do. And oh, you accidentally killed a slave and now you want to start over because you don't want to start with killing slaves. It was a lot of things that you had to figure out. So
I would consider this a puzzle game. I would consider this a puzzle. It's 100% a puzzle, and like there's different elements to talking to one character, making everyone else follow you. Like you're trying to legit save your race. I understand that aspect of it. I never got creeped out by this game. I think the overall frustration immediately just raised over me being scared of it. So it was just screw this game from the jump.
I still can't get with it. They got the remake coming out, or a brand new game, I'm sure, coming out for the PS5 that they just announced at the PS5 Expo joint that they released. So you got something to look forward to, Pat, and when it comes to this platform and these characters. But I'm telling you right now, I will never, ever jump on the train of Abe's Odyssey, or who's the second one?
Abe's Exodus.
Abe's Exodus.
Odyssey.
There's Munchie. Yeah, there's a few of them.
Okay,
And
wait.
All three of them. Throw them in the trash. All of them.
Is it
Get them
because
out of
it's
here.
difficult for you?
What now?
Is it because it's difficult for you?
I don't want to call it difficult. I don't want to say it's a difficult game. I want to say that they don't even do a great job of telling you. There's no tutorial, nothing.
Gotcha.
They throw you in there. It's like, all right, figure this shit out.
No, the tutorial. It's like in like Spanish or something. The para tarea.
Yeah. This is also Spanish gameplay. I was also gonna say this game is almost like a point and click from back in the day as well. It's like a moving point and click game. Like it's a little bit of both. And it's a puzzle. It's you're right, Pat. It was not made for the faint of heart. If you never played a game like this, you were not going to get it. You just weren't going to get it.
Most people didn't. Yeah.
Most people didn't get it.
So I think he finally figured it out. So now he's going to go up to these birds and
you're going to send them home.
Yeah. So you don't need to talk to him. He's really figuring all this out on camera, and he published. See, he scared him away. All right. What he was supposed to do was pray right there, and then it would form a portal, and they would go save through it. I don't know who's this guy. This is like a kid.
What is a game like this then? Like, what is something most similar to this game?
I don't got one in the chamber for you, brother.
This is a very unique game.
I feel like it's almost plays like
Luigi's Castle. I mean Luigi's Mansion.
No, like StarCraft almost. You know how like you have to like gather people and do things.
It's like resources, really resource driven.
No, that's not
it's more like saving people. It's such a hard game to describe. Like this, there's really no other game like this. Thinking about it, looking back at all the games I've played in my life, I don't think any of them play like Abe's Odyssey. Not a single
And what
one.
makes it fun? Is it the story? The environment?
It's the story and the goal to try to get these things out.
And
I think that's really what it is, because he really becomes this thing where, you know, after he saves Rupture Farms, he sort of does the whole Harriet Tubman thing and goes around and he finds out he's like the chosen one because his handprint fits in the moon perfectly. So he starts experimenting with magic, and there's like these big creatures that he can take over. I think at one point he turns into like a big creature too. So he kind of gets pretty powerful at a point. And then it really, I wasn't, to be fair, I never beat this game. I never saved Rupture Farms.
Look, he's about to save two people. Look, he just saved two of them.
He just figured it out. Yeah. I was a big fan of Munch's Odyssey. We played this. We tried Abe's Exodus. I don't even think I owned it. I think we rented it and we were just like, okay, this is kind of difficult too. But the amount of hours that I put into this, and then it was really Munch's Odyssey, because this playstyle is weird. I'm not even going to lie. It's frustrating. But once they took the Abe character and gave him sort of like almost like a free roam element, and he had these big massive levels. You were going to different tribes, and literally there's a button in that's like jump them. Like you could get like hella people, and then if there's somebody, you could like yell out jump them, and they'll all run and beat the character. Like it gets really, really dope. So
it sounds like it'll be a good like series or movie.
Yeah,
it would.
My question really quick, is there a boss battle in this, or are you literally, is your only mission in this game to figure out these puzzles in which you can escape this farm and get all of your people out of this big ass factory? Is that it?
In the Munch's Odyssey, you did have to take out a list of executives. So yes, there are these big giant things with suits.
Yeah.
They're called Gluckins. If anything, me and my brother were the type of kids, like if we couldn't get past an area, we would just go to the level select codes and then just pass, because we wanted to see what happened. We weren't worried about any of that other stuff. We wanted to see like the storyline of it. So I remember seeing every level at, you know, he pretty much leaves Rupture Farms quicker than you'd think. And there's parts where he's in like desert areas with like these big creatures that are a callback, because you see even right now drawn in the back with all these ribs and stuff, that's the creatures that are being made into food.
Don't forget the chunks that are hitting the screen. Don't forget the chunks.
The chunks of meat. And that picture of that, whatever that alien is, once you go outside into the wild, those things are like roaming around, and you have to dodge those, take those over, and you're still saving your and different clans in different areas. So I'm a big fan of Abe. I wish if they get the gameplay down, they could probably have some type of resurgence with this, because these remasters are really bringing a lot of old properties back, like like Crash and Spyro and stuff like that. Like I feel like this could get a second wave.
Well,
it's fixing. Go ahead. I feel like it does fix. Sorry. Well, go ahead, man.
No. My fault. I was saying, go ahead, Ronell. My bad.
Oh, I feel like a remaster could probably fix some of the control schemes. The story does sound interesting, I must say. Like it does sound pretty interesting as far as like taking down shit, and probably pretty different back then too, like unique. But that gameplay, man, it looks very Snorefest.
Yeah, this is a video game adaptation of Moses.
All right, man. Just mark today, July 22nd. This is the day that Khleo said he'll never touch the Abe's Odyssey. So we just remember that, because I too said the same thing about Zelda. Just remember that. I too
strongly.
I can keep this whole thing, bro. Just make it a mobile game, bro. Give an Oddworld go and let Pat be able to walk around and damn, my people's over here at the cafe too. Let me save them.
I would do that.
And he's free. Yay.
Hey yo, no, while you playing though. Now imagine if you was in the area and you had an opposing team that got to stop you from getting to the area. So now it's like tag, capture the flag,
and it's tribal. Like once you get outside, these the Madokans or whatever you take, they're tribal. They got like the like feathers and spears and stuff like that. Like they get down.
So I love it. Just stumbled onto something, Khleo, to keep the Oddworld franchise going. Look at that. Continue.
Hey, I don't have to put my hands on a remote controller, but I could still make $1 million off it. So whatever.